Hey guys, welcome back to Media Minutes, a short video series where we discuss the flaws in media ministry and show how we can fix the usual errors. My name is Cameron Reel.
And I'm Josue Vega. Today, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, narrative film and TV shows. I mean, which one of us hasn't been entertained by a good movie or show? Personally, I'm a Marvel fan, but I'm also a huge fan of movies like Inception and The Help.
Me? I'm more of a comedy guy. Love me a good Jim Carrey or Robin Williams film. But notice what both of our lists of favorite films don't have on them?
What's that?
Christian movies. And do you know why that is?
Maybe because, like...
They're not great.
Yeah.
They suck.
Yeah.
All right? But that doesn't have to be the case. In fact, there have been a couple of narrative works made by Christians that have become widely successful, even in the mainstream.
That's right. And today, we're going to look into some of those stories and figure out what tips for success we can dig up. What we've done is break down for you the best tips from the greatest success stories so you too can learn how to produce the best Christian content you can.
So let's talk about the first thing that every good movie and TV show needs: a solid story. Narrative films and TV shows are storytelling, pure and simple, just like books or campfire stories. A solid story is the first and one of the strongest ways to draw in an audience.
Of course, Christian narrative work has a reputation for unrealistic or preachy stories. So to figure out how to create a great story, we checked out Mel Gibson's Hacksaw Ridge, the story of Seventh-day Adventist Christian and World War II medic Desmond Doss.
The movie was nominated for 6 Academy Awards and ultimately won 2 for Best Sound Mixing and Best Film Editing. Now that's almost unheard of for a film with such strong Christian theme to it. So we spoke to one of the producers of this film, Terry Benedict, to get his take on why the film was so successful.
Hacksaw Ridge came to life after producer Terry Benedict was approached to be a part of a feature film project about the life of Desmond Doss. Benedict told those in charge of the project that they had no business making this movie unless the whole story of Desmond Doss was known. Consequently, Benedict made the award-winning documentary The Conscientious Objector. This incredible research is what enabled the film to be so authentic and genuine.
Right, and that leads us into the first tip for writing a solid story. Benedict recommends that you stop seeking to write a faith-based story and start seeking to make an authentic story. Stop trying to gloss over the hard parts, because those are what makes the film truly authentic. Use universal themes to appeal to audiences worldwide, securing a strong audience.
Yes. Benedict also said, if you want to make a movie to reach the mainstream, you need to stop making films to preach to the choir. And honestly, that makes a ton of sense to me, and Benedict's achievements certainly stand as a sure testimony to his insight.
Okay, but surely there's more to making a movie than just story, right?
Well, that's true. While arguably story is one of, if not the most important factor to a movie, there are of course other factors, and for some of those, we turn to what is possibly the most popular Christian show today, Dallas Jenkins' The Chosen, a dramatic representation of the life of Jesus and those who were touched by him.
The series has received unashamed praise, even from non-Christian critics, many of whom pointed out its immersive sets, brilliant writing, and diverse cast. The series has an eye-popping critic score of 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, alongside a lucrative 99% audience score.
Not only that, but it made history as the highest crowdfunded project ever, raising $13 million, which, for perspective, Christian Toto of Hollywood Toto, compared to the crowdfunded Veronica Mars's $5 million. Wow. Not only that, but only 4 months after its release, the series had 7 million episode views and had reached at least 180 countries.
The Chosen received such high praise because its quality did not detract from its story. It was a professional production both in lighting, camera work, script, and set design. It all flowed together to tell a marvelous story that no one could poke fun at or take away from because of its production value.
So that's to say, if you want to reach a good audience with your story, be willing to invest in your production in all aspects. It doesn't necessarily have to involve tons of money, but be resourceful and innovative with your production so that you can achieve the best storytelling. Remember, you know it's good quality if nobody notices your set or your lighting, etc.
Unless they're like, oh my goodness, that's like the craziest thing ever, but nobody's gonna do that.
Right, unless that.
Okay, I know you said that you don't have to involve a ton of money into your product, but there's gotta definitely be some money involved, right? But what if I'm broke?
That's a great question. Like we saw, The Chosen was able to be creative with their funding and crowdsource most of their funds. Crowdsourcing seems to be a largely untapped source these days, so it would be a pretty great resource for aspiring narrative works.
Right. And once you have your first product, you can use it to grow. Just look at what happened with the Kendrick brothers, who are probably the most well-known Christian filmmakers.
I mean, you didn't really think we discussed this topic without discussing them, did you?
Of course not. The Kendricks' first film was Flywheel. Of course, it wasn't as successful as most of their films would go on to be, but it was a great encouragement as it had some awesome local success. Much of its marketing came from news stories surrounding its release, and it encouraged the Kendricks and their church, Sherwood, to continue their filmmaking ministry.
Through networking, their next film, Facing the Giants, was picked up by Provident Films and distributed by Sony. The movie earned $10.1 million in theaters and sold over 2.5 million DVDs. Subsequent projects like Fireproof, Courageous, War Room, Overcomer all began building on this newfound success as the church began to work with more companies and bigger budgets.
I even heard that War Room became the #1 movie at the box office in its second week in playing.
Wow.
And the Kendricks have grossed over $190 million worldwide.
Whew. Huh. See, the brothers did the best they could on their first film, Flywheel, which in turn led to some publicity surrounding them. After trying to license a song from their company, Provident, for their second film, Provident picked up their movie and connected them with Sony. They have used their revenues and sources from their projects to help make their next one even better.
So, to wrap it all up, it takes a combination of all three of these principles to get some good narrative work off the ground. Start with a good story, invest in the highest quality you can afford,
Without, of course, forgetting to tap into resources like crowdfunding.
right? And then use your early work to launch you into bigger and better projects ahead.
Of course, all this may sound a lot easier than it actually is. But today, we've just tried to give you some quick tips and principles to get you started. We encourage you to do more research about these producers, films, and TV shows to learn even more details for yourself.
Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out our other Media Minute videos with resources to help your church or ministry.
Till next time, keep filming.